of 10 o'clock, and my guest in the studio is Thomas Thom, and Thomas is with the Catalyst Foundation, and he is the LGBTIQA and Community Program Officer, and he's with me this morning. Thomas, good morning.
Good morning, Rob. How are you? Gosh, we love our long titles at
Catalyst. Yes, that is a long title. Yes, I'll just call you the CEO.
Oh, please don't.
Thomas, the New Aged Care Act of 2024 comes into effect on the 1st of July this year, so
That's
it's not
correct.
far away.
Yeah.
Why is it being introduced?
Well, and I thought this might be a good topic to talk about this month, Rob, because of its impending implementation on the 1st of July. So why is it being introduced? The New Aged Care Act is a complete rewrite of the laws that govern aged care in Australia, and as mentioned, it comes into effect from the 1st of July. So that might sound a bit technical, but the real point is this: the government's changing, and the government's changing the system to better protect older Australians and to make aged care fairer, safer and more personal. So the Royal Commission into Aged Care a few years ago, listeners may have been tracking newspaper articles over the years. There have been sort of a slow introduction of a change to services and funding for providers and so forth. But the Royal Commission essentially discovered that the system just wasn't working well enough. There were too many people falling through the cracks.
Yes.
Care was inconsistent. Older people didn't always feel respected or heard. So this new act is the government's response to that. It's about making aged care fit for the future and more focused on those receiving care. So over the years, our aged care has been governed by a patchwork of legislation, Rob, that's become complicated and hard to follow. So from the 1st of July, this new act will replace the old Aged Care Act from 1987, along with other outdated laws and rules. It brings everything together in a simpler, more modern system that's focused on people, not paperwork, and it puts our older Australians and their rights right at the centre of every decision.
Well, listening to that, it makes absolute sense because, as you see, it's old and it's outdated, the current act.
Unnecessarily complicated.
Yes.
So, and what happens with laws, we introduce them, and over the ensuing decades we go back and we amend those and make changes to them, and often that just creates layered complications within the act itself. So this is an incredible thing that's being introduced, and again it really places all of the consumers and clients right at the centre
a complete rewrite.
Yes.
So, Thomas, what will change for older people receiving care at home or simply living in aged care homes?
Well, if they're getting support or services at home, like help with meals or cleaning, transport or personal care, or if they're living in an aged care home, as you suggested, the services themselves might not look too different straight away, excuse me, but how they're delivered will change. So under the new Act, clients will have more say in the kind of care that they receive, when and how it's delivered and by whom. The care must now be based on individual needs, preferences and goals, not just what the provider decides is available.
Excellent.
So, importantly, there'll be a new statement of rights built into the Act. Care recipients might be familiar with the Charter of Rights, which was required to be sent out by assessors and every provider providing services. So some clients might have a little file with about 8 different Charter of Rights in there.
Right.
The new statement of rights built into the Act means that providers must respect the dignity, privacy, independence and even the cultural background of clients, and they must support clients to make decisions wherever possible. So while the care might feel familiar, clients will have more control and clarity, and their care providers will be held to stronger standards of quality and respect.
Well, that's excellent.
Yeah.
And Thomas, my guest in the studio, by the way, is Thomas Thom, who's with the Catalyst Foundation. He's the Community and Programs Officer. Thomas, what existing clients, or will the existing clients lose any services, or will they have to do anything that's different?
No, not for the clients themselves. It's an important question, Rob. So the answer essentially is no, they won't lose services just because the law is changing. If they're already getting help through the Commonwealth Home Support Program or a home care package or living in residential residential care, those services will continue. So the government has promised a smooth transition for care recipients, so that people don't have to suddenly reapply or be reassessed. And the government's introduced a no worse off principle, which means that if somebody's already receiving aged care services, the changes coming in won't leave that person with less support or more out of the hip pocket. They'll essentially keep the help they're getting now, and over time the aim is to make things better and easier, not harder for the clients. So over time they might notice small changes, maybe some different paperwork or new language around the care plan or new ways to give feedback to the provider. But the changes are all designed to make the system simpler and easier to understand, especially for older people and their families. And I would encourage care recipients to remember that your aged care service provider should keep you informed and help you understand any changes as they happen.
Well, that sounds marvellous and sounds very sensible too. So, Thomas, where can I get help if I have questions or concerns about any of these changes that you've highlighted this morning?
Excellent, thank you. So, look, if any care recipients or clients under My Aged Care have any questions, whether it's about their own care or helping a parent or friend, the first place to start is, of course, My Aged Care. That's the government's central service for aged care information, and they're there to help. They have a free call number across Australia of 1800 200 422 for free, or as I said, local cost call, or visit myagedcare.gov.au.
I'll give that number again too, Thomas. That number for My Aged Care is you can call 1800 200 422 for free.
Yes, that's correct. Now, if listeners would prefer to speak to someone locally, the team at our Catalyst Foundation Seniors Information Service is always here to help. Listeners can give us a call on 8168 8776, and we're happy to talk things through, explain the changes in plain English as best we can, and help to find the right support or information resources for their situation.
Thomas, you said explain the changes in plain English, and I get that. But what about people who actually speak another language?
Good. That's a great question. Thanks, Rob. So if listeners or anyone that they care for is finding it hard to access aged care services because of language or health or other personal challenges, the Catalyst Foundation, of course, also runs the Care Finder program, which is a national program. It's a free service that helps eligible older people who need extra support to understand their options and get the help that they need. So just to find out whether or not listeners are eligible for the Care Finder program, they can contact us directly at the Catalyst Foundation on 8168 8776 to find out if that program's right for you, and if they're not eligible for Care Finder program, our information officers can support them with information and referrals off to services.
Great. Does the Catalyst Foundation have people who speak other languages?
We do, yes.
Good.
We also we use the telephone interpreter service if necessary. We have access to that through the Australian government.
Yes.
And one of our staff actually works as a translator for TIS National. So, yes, we're sort of, depending on the language, we're able to provide that instant support over the phone.
That's excellent. And that phone number again for the Catalyst Foundation for Care Finder program is 8168 8776.
And that number's also just for the Seniors Information Service. So that's our general number.
Yes.
When they call, they'll get a sort of automated menu at the front, depending whether they want to speak to an information officer or a care finder. Hit one of the buttons. Our staff will just talk through with the caller and understand which program or service best suits their needs and support them.
Thomas, thank you.
Absolute pleasure, and thanks for the opportunity to come in. Again, I think this is an important change that's about to occur. We've been supporting providers and callers with information about it. So at that number, one last time, if anyone has questions about it or not sure about the impending changes, Catalyst Foundation on 8168 8776.
And it happens, the complete rewrite of the laws, the new Aged Care Act, comes into effect on the 1st of July 2025, so it's just 1 month away.
That is 4.5 weeks or something.
That's great. My guest in the studio, Thomas Thom, the LGBTIQA and Community Programs Officer. Thomas, thank you again.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
It's 26 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock here on your